Hey guys, welcome back. Ashley D. Will here, author, teacher, life coach. You guys remember to like, subscribe, and share so that other people can have access to this information. So today's video is about things that you can say to your frozen self. In other videos, we have talked about when the Lord brings up a memory or you remember something and you encounter a part of you that is frozen back in time, maybe when you were a child. Well, that part of you is frozen there, and there are some things you can say to help the process of you bonding with that child, of encouraging that child to come up into the adult self and bond with you as the loving, protective parent. Okay, so when we have trauma in our lives, one unmistakable feature of trauma is that the self separates from itself in that moment. Whenever the trauma happens, you separate from yourself. Okay? That is just what happens, and that is a defense mechanism that God has given us, and He's wired it into our brains so that we can continue to function after the trauma happens. Otherwise, we would be like a broken doll that would fall down and not be able to function anymore. Okay? So the parts of you that you're going to encounter when you have a memory are going to be parts of you that are frozen. In this moment, whichever moment the trauma happened, the self separated from you. That part of you, that fragment of you that is frozen back there in time, you could see it as frozen or arrested, traumatized so that it stops development then. You could see it as that you are trapped in a frame of time. One frame, you're trapped there, or you're paralyzed there. However you want to see it is fine. But we are trapped in these frames of time in our past wherever traumas have happened. And so one of the goals of healing is to go back into that memory and bond with that child who's traumatized. And this video is about some things you can say to help that process happen. Obviously, the goal of healing from trauma, if the trauma separates us from ourselves, then the goal of healing from the trauma is to reconnect that damaged part of the child back with you, with your current adult self. Your current adult self is wise, it is protective, and it is safe for that child. So you want the child frozen in the memory to come and bond with you, and that will help to heal the trauma and to grow the little child up to be one with you in your adult state. Okay, so here are some things that you can say down here, but before you say them, it's a good idea to get in a still, quiet place where no one's around, there's no distractions, you don't have kids screaming or your phone, is turned off. You're going to be really still. You're going to be quiet, and you're going to focus on your breathing. Focus on your breathing. Just very calmly listen to and focus on your breathing. That will help center you. And you're not going to focus on your thoughts that are like fireworks, right, in your brain. You don't need to focus on those. Just focus on your breathing. And then when the memory surfaces, however it surfaces, if the Lord brings it up or if you remember something or something happened recently that brought up something that happened when you were young, you're going to let the memory surface. And these are some things that you can say to the frozen child back in the past to help this child, encourage him or her to come and bond with you. You can say, I am here for you now. Because when you were little, you separated from yourself and you were not there for the child. You couldn't be because you were still a child. But now you're an adult, you can say, I'm here for you now. You can also say, you are safe with me. Remember, you're the adult now, and the current adult self is wise, protective, and safe for the child that's frozen back in the trauma. You can also say, I see you and hear you and understand you. That is very powerful. And you can also say, I will take care of you now. Okay? So there's 4 things you can say to help the child that is arrested back there in time to come up to the current day and bond with you. And that is the ultimate goal of healing for each trauma that happened, because it reverses what happened initially. Initially, in the trauma, you separated from yourself in survival mode. That's how God wired you to do. That's what He wired your brain to do. So you're going to do the reverse of that, which is reuniting, reconnecting, bonding with that child who is frozen back in time. And he's not going to be bonding with anyone else but your current adult self, who is wise, protective, and safe for that child. All right, so we're moving in this process from separation, which happened up here at the moment of trauma, to connection. We're moving to connection. You're going to reconnect with that part of you that separated or divided from you and is trapped in a frame of time as a child. Likewise, we're moving from this state of fragmentation to wholeness. And you're going to do it one issue at a time. One trauma at a time. And as always, as the Holy Spirit leads. You don't be legalistic and think, well, I have to go from age 1, then into age 2 and age 3. Don't do that. Listen to the Holy Spirit. He has the perfect plan of healing for you. It'll be one issue at a time. He can, which He's done for me, combine different things. But just for simplicity's sake, and you do something different if He tells you that. But I'm just saying one issue at a time, just to let you know that it can be baby steps and it takes time and not to rush and all that, okay? So things to say to your frozen self back in time that will help you to bond with the part of you that is frozen. All right? So I hope this is helpful. You guys leave comments and remember to like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you next time.